So it's Monday.
It is.
It's Monday, and it's the beginning of a new week. New week in the... What are you doing, Poop? Oh, that's it. That's it. You come here.
She's getting in trouble.
Daddy's got you now.
Oh, no.
He's attacking the damn side of the chair.
She's like, come on, Daddy, play with me.
She wants me to go in the other room and wrestle. She likes to fucking wrestle on the rug. You like to wrestle on the rug, don't you?
She does, yeah.
Look at her. Look at her.
And also, she likes to play in the closet.
Yeah.
She waits for you when you get out of the shower.
Yeah.
And then when you get out of the shower, she runs past into the closet and she goes, brrr!
Yeah, makes all kinds of noise and then starts rolling around on her back.
Like, come on.
Yeah, let's go. She wants to wrestle.
Aww,
she's cute.
Look at you, Pokey.
So what's on the list, Jenny? What do we got to talk about?
Not a lot. What have you been up to today? I've been working on the that CD cover that I
was researching Mexican food with Jair. Was watching this guy. Maybe we'll put a link or something. He was going through Mexico, Tijuana, Mexico City, sampling all the street food. I was watching how they were making it. The way they do stuff is basically the way I do it. And, I evolved independently to come up with the same solutions they did.
Yeah.
But I saw some shit that they were doing, man. I was like, man, that's a good idea. They'd fry a corn tortilla about halfway, then pull it back out, and then throw it into something like oil that had been soaked in red chili.
Yeah.
And then they'd throw it into pork drippings to get pork juice in it, and then put it back in there and fry it again so it would come out pork flavored.
Nice.
And they're doing stuff like stacking two corn tortillas on top of one another and putting so much filling in there it doesn't really fold over. It's just
double bagging it.
It's like a damn cone. You know what I mean? It's like an ice cream cone looking thing. And instead of lettuce, they're using cabbage like I use. They came up with a lot of the same solutions I did. But man, I didn't know it, but there's a Middle Eastern influence in tacos.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had some Lebanese people go down there a long time ago, and like this, that lamb, rotisserie lamb. What do you call that stuff? What do you call that? Like for making gyros.
Yeah.
Well, they're taking a whole bunch of pork, seasoned pork, and putting them on them and putting it in a rotisserie, and then they just take a flour tortilla and slice it off in there, and then they had pineapple up there and put that in it, and then make tacos like that. So it looks good, really good.
Making me hungry. Every time we do this, we're gonna be so fat by the time we finish doing this fucking cookbook.
I was watching these Mexican Indian women in their little farm make mollo, and man, they were putting a lot of work into that. That was kind of like they put as much work just into that damn mollo sauce. Mollo means sauce. Sauce. They're putting so much work into that. It was like Thanksgiving. They're grinding everything by hand on those damn Mayan grinders.
Yeah.
The limestone grinding tools. Looks like a little stone table with like a stone roller.
Yeah.
Like a stone rolling pin, and they're baking chilies and grinding them in there, and all different kinds of spices. And the mollo actually. Which I made some today, but I had pre-made mollo. It's kind of like the Mexican Indian version of damn chili. Not chili, excuse me, curry.
Yeah.
Chicken, rice, and then that mollo. It's a chocolatey mollo. Good.
Yeah, it was actually really good.
Got chocolate
I didn't know what you were making in there, and then I thought when you brought it in, I was kind of like, oh, you must have got ideas from all those Mexican.
Yeah.
All the Mexican food you were researching.
Yeah, it was. The thing is in the cookbook, I think I'm going to put a recipe for mollo to make it.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't be able to get that in Europe, I don't think. Not pre-made. And the pre-made stuff is not going to be anywhere as good as what you could make.
Yeah. I mean, we've had several different kinds of pre-made mollo that was actually pretty good.
It's okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But making it, the way I was seeing these women make it, man, it looked fantastic. It looked like better than any korma.
Yeah.
Or any curry. And the British, they like curries. Well, this is like a Mexican curry.
Yeah.
Like an Aztec curry. And this shit's old, man. They've been doing it for hundreds of years. This goes back to Aztec days.
Yeah.
Well,
some of it's weird because some of the spices in Mexican food and Indian food are similar.
Yeah. Some of it.
Yeah. Not all, but yeah.
A lot of that had to do, though, is because, Mexico became part of the Spanish Empire.
Yeah.
But a long time ago. That started, in the 1500s.
Yeah.
And because of that, Mexico started to get access to spices throughout the empire.
Yeah.
So a lot of it wasn't originally indigenous
right.
to Mexico. It got adopted. But they knew what to do with it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, Aztec and Mayan and Meso-American societies were far more advanced than, European people of European heritage imagine. When Cortez and his men first saw Mayan and Aztec cities, they were just fucking astounded. They were bigger than anything in Europe in those days. And they were brightly painted in turquoise and red, and they had centralized planning, lots of statues and temples, and a lot of organization. It was a high culture. You're talking about something that's like on par with feudal Japan or maybe imperial China. It was advanced. But they were also fucking wild, man. Taking hallucinogenic drugs, weird ass religious rites that involved human sacrifice, child sacrifice, cannibalism. They did all that. Ritual, kind of like ritual slavery and murder. It was all made sense though within the context of the Meso-American religion though.
Yeah.
It was all rationalized. You had to do it. The blood debt. You had to pay the blood debt back to keep the sun going.
Yeah, who knows what would happen.
Because the world would end.
Exactly.
And you as a soldier, you'd go out, your job as a soldier, no matter what city state you were in, your job was to go capture warriors. A lot of times there were even ball games involved where the losers were sacrificed.
Yeah.
But, you had to capture other soldiers and then take them back to your city and sacrifice them to pay back the blood debt. Well, those captured soldiers willingly walked up to the top of the damn temple. It was their duty. It was their religious duty as part of the soldier to pay back the blood debt so God wouldn't destroy the earth.
Yeah.
It made sense in that context. But, if you actually look into all what happened in the history of Mexico, the Spaniards were fucking terrified of what they saw. That was a fucking, and their guns and cannons really didn't help them. Cortez helped topple the Aztec Empire with the help of, basically millions of Indian allies from other cities.
Yeah.
It wasn't done by 200 Spaniards. That's not really how.
Much as they probably told people.
That's what they told people. Okay.
Only 200 of us, man. We're such bad.
Yeah, that was Spanish propaganda. That 200 Spaniards with some fucking. What's the kid doing?
Moving the thing with her butt.
With arquebus, which is damn fucking matchlock rifles, which were fucking useless, really. That they toppled the empire. No, they did it with fucking allies and politics and mind control and deception. It had a lot to do with it. And religion. They used the Aztec religion against the Aztecs a lot. Because they thought he was Kukulkan. That's part of it. And Kukulkan is described as a European that came and taught them everything about civilization. And that the Mayan... And the Aztecs and the Mayans, but the Aztec nobility believed that they had descended from Kukulkan. They told Cortez that they weren't from Mexico, that they were from Europe, basically. And I can even show you the quotes. A lot of people don't know that. Which it may have been that whoever went there a long time ago, they might have been Greeks or something, because it predated the Aztec Empire by probably 1,000 years. They're talking about a long, long time ago. Maybe the BC period. Whoever it was, a lot of them may have stayed behind. And it wasn't one man. It must have been a whole shipload of them. And maybe they just bred in with the population. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All the nobles thought they were from somewhere else, and they said it was from the west, across the ocean. So they must be talking about Europe. And, what's his name? Graham Hancock talked about that. It might have been something like a Phoenician trading vessel or something Greek, that they left the Mediterranean and got blown off course and, accidentally showed up, on the coast of South or Central America somewhere. It probably wasn't Mexico, you know what I mean? It was probably somewhere around Brazil or maybe Venezuela, long time before the Mexicans were ever around or the Aztecs were ever around. It's weird. There was also a lot of evidence that black people were there. The Olmec statues look like black people. And off the coast of Chile was Easter Island, and they were described as black people with blonde hair.
Yeah.
So you had, a lot of people don't realize it, but, black people were also seafaring thousands of years ago. They went down through Micronesia, all through the little island chains, Australia, and evidently South America. But they all mix in. Waves and waves of immigration into the American continent. That's it's always been, this continent's always been basically invaded by people over and over and over again, going back probably
maybe
to
not
the Ice
even
Age.
maybe not even on purpose.
Not even by purpose, accident.
By accident.
Walking across the ice sheets from Europe, walking across land bridges from China, being blown ashore, because you were Polynesian trying to get to the other island, but the fucking wind blew you off course.
God damn
and you end
it.
up in damn Chile or something, Or
Well, I guess I live here now.
Yeah.
That's what happened back in those days.
Yeah, I'm here now. And the same thing was happening to black Africans. They were showing up here thousands of years ago because they were seafaring also. But it's so far back we don't know what kind of boats.
Yeah, I feel like there was so many like sea voyages that we've been lost to time because I guess later on it was just kind of like, they didn't really start that till later, but I kind of think that's bullshit.
No.
I mean, yes, it's long distances and shit, but
it's not as long as you think.
Yeah.
Okay, if the weather conditions are right, you can get from the New World to Europe in a few weeks. That's not that far.
Yeah,
like 3 weeks. They had an Indian guy or a Native American guy who got captured by British sailors, and they took him back to England, and and they basically showed him off to the royal people, and was going to going to parties and palaces and shit like that, and eventually the royal people got kind of bored of him and just told him to get the fuck out. So then
That's nice.
he spent most of his time in a damn bar, could speak English and everything. And this was, I think, back in the 1600s. And he could speak English and everything. And he said, fuck it, I'm going back home. He got into a damn little bitty dinghy sailboat, had a whole bunch of food and water, and went back to America.
Yeah.
Alone.
Yeah.
In a fucking little bitty sailboat.
He really wanted to go
home.
Yeah,
he's like,
guys.
fuck this shit. I'm going back home. And I believe that was 1600s.
Yeah. They knew. I mean, they knew what they were doing.
They knew what they were doing. They weren't out stupid.
No, not by any stretch of the imagination.
He just had balls.
Yeah.
He goes, it's that way. I'm just gonna keep going. And I guess the wind was right, and it was like about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Which that's not that long.
Yeah.
You can have 3 weeks worth of water and fucking 3 weeks worth of food.
Yeah, that's
probably have to cover yourself up with a fucking blanket. The sun would fucking burn you up out there on the ocean.
Yeah, you get exposed.
But evidently he knew all about that because people were seafaring. He probably just asked around, what would it take to get me there?
Yeah.
And some sailors probably told him, you better put a fucking roof on this.
Yeah, put a roof on the boat.
Yeah.
Pro tip.
Yeah. And evidently it was like a dinghy.
That's pretty funny.
It's hardcore.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's not like you had much choice. You couldn't just hop down to the airport and get on a little puddle jumper.
If somebody remembers what that guy's name was, go ahead and drop it in the comments. I forgot what his name. I don't think that was Squanto. It might have been Squanto, but I think it was another one.
Yeah, I didn't think Squanto did.
Squanto came back.
He did, yeah.
But I think he came on a merchant vessel.
Right.
There was another guy who said, fuck it, I'm going back. He went back on his own.
I don't have time to wait around for these
white folks.
I want to go right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty funny. That's hilarious how you went from talking about Mexican food and now you're talking about Squanto.
Well, you told me to come up with some shit. We're just trying to make an episode.
I was trying to think of what else What did we watch last night? Oh, we watched. We're gonna be reviewing it for the matinee show, but we watched like a new sci-fi movie called Proximity.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Which is actually pretty good. Yeah, it was like a real throwback, like 80s Close Encounters meets Romancing the Stone
meets THX 1138.
Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, meets Star Wars. It homaged George Lucas stuff a lot.
Oh yeah,
a lot.
And Steven Spielberg a bit too, but
it had a great classical score. It was just like the score from Star Wars.
Yeah.
But then they were throwing in rock music and shit.
Yeah.
In it.
I dug it.
Yeah, and the guy was talking to aliens and kind of had the Force, and then spirituality was involved. I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, because we're gonna do a review of it for the matinee show, so I don't want to talk too much about it.
But you can rent it off of Xbox, I think, for about $5.
Yeah, so it's probably on other VOD platforms.
Yeah, what was it called again?
Proximity.
Yeah, go check it out. And it's fun for the whole family.
Yeah, it's definitely a throwback, like 80s family sci-fi movie. Yeah. Like adventure.
If you're into like cosmic spirituality and stuff, you'd be into it. But that's kind of what Star Wars is about, and that's really kind of why I think it was homage and George Lucas stuff a lot.
Yeah.
Because there is kind of like the Force in a way.
Yeah.
You'll see.
I think the next one we might review, and we probably could watch it tonight, is that Samurai one.
Yeah, that one looked good.
We'll probably do that one as
Samurai
well.
Marathon.
Yeah. It's the same guy. It was Bernard Rose, the same guy that directed Candyman.
Yeah, we're going to check
the original Candyman, not the new one. And then, what else? Before that, we watched... if you guys... Because I know some of you guys like Dan Bell as well. And he has that show called Another Dirty Room, where they stay in, like, shithole motels and... for a night and like show everybody how dirty it is. I guess he recorded a whole bunch of episodes like before the pandemic, because he did like a question and answer, like a live thing the other day, and he said he had like a whole bunch of shit that he had filmed and hadn't edited yet, so I guess he's putting stuff out because he's not going around and staying anywhere. And they did one last night that was in New Orleans.
Yeah, that was fucking bizarre.
Although that's it, you know what? The place was gross, but
wasn't as bad.
It wasn't as bad as some of the other places. I mean, they have everything. They have like the heme test. They have like the black light. They have all the kind of shit.
Looking for bed bugs.
Blood, semen, pee.
Yeah.
Various other fluids. So I mean, I don't think I've ever seen, I think maybe one hotel they stayed in, because they rate them from 1 to 5. I think I've seen one where they rated a 3, where it's like, it's not great, but we would stay here without being too grossed out or like needing to a fucking Silkwood shower afterward.
Most of them don't pass.
But most of them are a 2 or a 1 at the... Yeah. And the thing about it, I mean, the one they did last night was $49, which I was like, well... At least you're not paying, because some of the places that they stayed in were worse than that one, and they were like $80, $90, and I'm like, fuck that.
I think the worst one was the one outside of Detroit. Remember, that one was just a 0. They didn't even want to be in there.
Yeah.
Remember that? Just roaches all over the fucking place.
Yeah, the place was like just it German cockroaches, and it was infested.
It was like below crack hotel.
I think the creepiest one, I don't know if it was the same one, but the creepiest one where they did the what do you call it, the luminol.
Yeah.
And there were legit bloody handprints on the floor. Yeah. Like a kid's bloody handprints.
Yeah.
So I'm like, someone got murdered in this room or something.
I think a lot of that blood is people shooting up. Although hit the veins and shit sprays out.
If it's just like little sprays and stuff, but some of the stuff it's like a lot. Like they're
getting blood on their hands. Though.
Yeah, I mean some of it might be like the one that they did last night. They found like a little bit of blood. It was weird. It was black and it didn't look like blood. And then they were like, "Well, do a heme test on that because maybe it is blood," and it was. And then it like really lit up like with the luminol and everything. That looked like somebody had a nosebleed.
Yeah. What a lot of people don't realize. You can get a drop of blood on your hand and do this.
Yeah.
And it disappears. But then you can touch your hand against the wall and you don't see a handprint there of blood. But under luminol you would.
Yeah. So although the one that they found like that was really alarming was a lot of blood.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it was like streaks of blood and handprints. It looked like a kid was crawling through a puddle of it.
I didn't see that.
So I was like, someone either got their ass kicked or got murdered.
Kicked that kid's ass.
Or something. Or the kid's mom or something like that. Because a lot of these are fucking, I mean, in pretty much every hotel room, they find some kind of drug paraphernalia. In one, they found a plastic bag full of used underwear, so like used panties. So that
they're hooker hotels, drug hotels, hooker hotels. That's what they're.
So I mean, and I think that's why they stay in them, like because it's much funnier.
Yeah.
Like to just watch. I mean,
they're looking for those.
They're disgusting to watch. I mean, it's disgusting.
Well, they show the reviews before they even go there.
But they're funny as hell.
They show the online reviews before they even go there. Or like people are going, "Wow, this is disgusting." Hotel. Hooker hotel. Go, this is what we're going to go to.
Yeah, I think that's why they do. Well, because that's like much funnier. Because they just go in with their like just fucking tons of beer and pot and everything like that, and they sit in there for apparently because I've seen they did live ones for a while, so they sit in there for like 4 or 5 hours and film, and then later they'll edit it down to like 45 minutes or an hour or whatever. But they're super fun, but it's not for the squeamish because a few times I've been watching that and been like. Because that's some fucking nasty ass shit. But yeah, so you want to wrap up the Monday?
Wrap that shit up.
Somebody said that we should have a T-shirt
says, wrap it up.
that says "Wrap that shit up." Can I take a picture of you do the gesture?
Wrap that shit up.
Yeah, like that.
Something like this. Yeah.
But then like look kind of mad.
It's kind of like that dude that fucking the dude from 1700s is fucking pointing. And, what's that guy's name?
I can't remember.
I saw a thing on that dude. He looks cool as shit, like he's funny, but they said that is not who that dude was. They said everybody fucking hated him. Did you hear about who that guy, what he was really like?
No.
He was like this absolutely ruthless landlord, fucking chiseled his way through other people. He forced his employees, both male and female, to sleep with him, or he fucking would, fire them.
Charming.
Did all kinds of weird shit to fucking wives and women. He died because he fucking drunk off his ass and fell off a horse and it killed him. And they said, and it's like written in the fucking local papers that he died and that everyone was happy.
Woohoo!
Yeah. The dude was like, absolutely.
Fuck that dude.
The dude was fucking like totally hated. Everybody hated him.
Can you imagine in that way? That's why I kind of wish there was an afterlife. So people that were just like complete dick smacks in real life, like after they died, I wonder if they would be upset, like that everybody was like, "Yay, they're finally fucking dead."
No,
or if they'd just be like, "Yeah, that's right."
No, he's like, no, they said he was totally just like fucking ruthless and cruel and sardonic, just laughed at other people's suffering and loved the fact that he was hated.
So like a psychopath.
Yeah, psychopath, fucking psychopath.
I don't know why I just thought of it. I guess because you were talking about that guy and he's became like a meme.
Yeah, he became a meme.
But when I was researching the show and I was looking at pictures of Eugen Sandow.
Yeah.
And there's a meme. Somebody made a meme out of him where it's that one where he's laying down like naked with just a fig leaf. And then somebody put on the top, "Dost thou even hoist?"
Yeah. Even lift. Yeah. Yeah.
And that is like, I saw that. I was going to put it in the show, but it's like I didn't. But I just thought that
Eugen was the shit, man.
Dost thou even hoist?
Yeah.
All right. So you guys have a good rest of your Monday. We'll talk to you guys again tomorrow.